All right, now let's jump into the loop, and we're going to do a couple things here. One, we're going to prompt the user, give them some nice text out there that says something like, please ask a question. And then once they ask a question, hit their enter key, we then want to give them a response back, a random response that picks from the 8 responses that we're going to give them. All right, so I'm going to jump into my loop here and pay attention to the white space, right? Always important. We got a while loop going on, colon, hit your enter key, and you should be indented in. If you're not, make sure that's indented. All right, so first, I'm going to prompt the user. So I'm going to call this quests, short for question. It's a new variable I'm creating here. And I'm going to make this equal to an input. Now the input is just going to prompt something on the screen and expect something to come back from the user. So I'm going to say, please ask the magic 8-ball a question. All right, there's my response, or there's my prompt to whoever's running this thing. And let's make this window a little bit bigger so we can see a little more of that. All right, so that's my input. That's what I want to ask the user to do. I'm asking them, ask a question. They'll bang one out on their keyboard. They'll hit their enter key. And now I'm going to get their response. Now I'm not too concerned about the actual question. You know, if the user types in, am I going to strike it rich tomorrow? I really don't care. I don't care about the actual question. All I care is that they've asked the question, that they've typed something on their keyboard. Because if they leave it blank, eventually we'll have it just exit the application. Okay? And once again, I don't care about the questions because I'm just randomly giving them a response. That's it. Now that's actually the next part, is I want to be able to print out a random response based off of these choices here that I'm storing inside of this string collection. So now let's go ahead and print something out. I'll use the print method, and I want to get into that responses variable that we have here, but I want to pull something out randomly. So I am going to print out a response. All right, response, but I want a random response from there, one of those 8. So here I'm going to use the random module that we imported earlier. So I'm going to bring in random, and I'm going to use a specific function within random called randint. Now randint, it takes a range. It wants to know, well, you want to get a random number between what and what. So something to think about here. Depending on how you stored your values, how you're approaching getting those values to return to the user, I've got them stored inside of a string collection. And remember, string collections are 0-based. They're indexed. Okay, so here I'm going to say between 0 and 7. Right? There's 8 responses, but because it's 0-based, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, total of 8. I'll close that. I'm going to close the brackets. And I think that looks good. Let me think about this. We got our while loop. We got the input inside of there. And then they type in a question, hit their enter key, and then we'll print out one of these random responses here, pulling out between 0 and 7. All right. I think that's looking good. I'm gonna test this out really quick. Make sure I got everything. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to go ahead and run. I'm going to hit F5. All right, there it is. So I printed out, right? My loop is running. Please ask the magic 8-ball a question. All right, so I'm going to bang something away here. I'm going to say, will I strike it rich tomorrow? I'll give him a few days, right? All right, question mark. So I'm going to hit my enter key. Oh, what did I do? I misspelled something. I test out your code. Make sure you test it out. So here I've got response instead of responses. All right, let's try that out again. I'll go ahead and F5. Let's change our window here so you can see behind my fat head. All right, there we go. So, all right, once again, will I strike it rich tomorrow? Question. All right, let's see. What am I doing wrong here? I keep spelling stuff wrong, right? Responses. I forgot the S in there. All right, once again, tests. And one more time. All right, will I strike it rich tomorrow? All right, there we go. Without a doubt. Sweet. All right. So I'm on my way. I could probably quit recording right now. I'm going to be striking it rich tomorrow. All right, please ask Magic 8 Ball a question. So it's gone back into the loop again. It's repeating the process. Now we have a couple more things that we want to do here, because right now if I just hit my enter key, I don't even ask a question. It's just going to keep doing it. Enter. As I see it is certain, without a doubt. You may rely on it. As I see, yes. Okay, it's randomly picking one of those responses. But if I don't type a question in, I want an error, or I want it to cancel out and exit the application. So that's what we're going to do next. But first, get this portion done right here, and then we'll jump into the next section.